I'm not as dumb as you guys thought I was.
I think you're smart on that.
You wanna
We learn
give
new
a
tricks
minute
every day.
30.
Huh?
6:30.
Yeah. Good, ready, sir?
Yeah.
Call meeting order at 6:30.
Talking to the microphone, Gene. Turn it on, please.
Go.
Hit the button at the bottom to work, turn on green.
Calling the meeting order at 6:31. All rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Yeah.
Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I bet run over Sean every time in the meeting.
Thank you.
He gets up the same way I do.
Roll call, Ed,
Here.
Tanya,
Here,
Gene, here. Nick. Absent. Eric?
I am here.
Awesome. We do have enough for a quorum. Like to have a motion to approve the night's meeting agenda as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda for,
All in favor?
Hi. Need a
Meeting agenda approved. I'd like to also have a motion to approve the minutes from February 12th, 2026. Everybody did get a copy?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for February 12th, 2026.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approved. Old business. I don't believe we have any old business. We do have new business. And that is Patrick. I'm going to turn it over to you for the new business part, your quarterly report.
Yep. So I'm gonna give you an update on the new officers, which is on the quarterly report. So Officer Lanning is scheduled to graduate ILEA on April 24th in about a week and a half. So he's almost done with that. Officer Payne is almost done with his FTO and he's scheduled to attend ILEA starting May 4th. I think he graduates sometime in late August. So they're both progressing as needed and as stated. Officer Carter, who we got from McCordsville, he's fully released from FTO and is currently working solo patrol. So that was good and quick and we were done. We do update having a full slate of officers soon, and we currently have, oops, I misspelled two to toe.
Yeah.
I think I was typing too quickly. Sorry about that. We have two positions still to fill, one from the July hire of 2025 because Officer Carter took Levi Chappell's spot in January, and then one to fill for 2026. But we are in the last phase of our hiring process, and we have currently 3 candidates to consider. So that's where we're at on that. Our reserves, and this doesn't count the reserve commander, Jake Smith, because he's a paid part-time officer. But so I have 2 reserves, Lee and Kyle Smith. They worked 100.5 hours for the past quarter. Calls for service are all on there, averaging between 1,300 and 1,600 a month, depending on the month. February was a little lower than the others, strictly because the weather was really, really cold and people stayed inside. We had 72 total arrests for the quarter. And it should be noted that calls for service don't include anything that Laura or I take when we're here during the day. Like people will just come up to the window and ask a question or come up and ask for a report, anything like that. We don't track those and we don't log those. So there's probably an additional 100 or so calls for service a month between her and I that just don't get tracked, but they're not a dispatch call or a 911 call. They're just somebody coming into the police department to ask questions. There were 714 either ordinance, warnings, infractions, misdemeanor, or felony tickets written. And you wonder how you could get a felony ticket. That's like your OWI with children in the car. They're still going to write them the ticket for the OWI since it is a driving offense. But if there's children or if they've had previous OWIs, that's where the felonies are going to come from. And then we took 18 total accident reports, 16 property damage, and 2 personal injury accidents. The next several pages in your report is the type total of all the calls for service per month. And if you go through all those at the end, these come directly from our 911 center. So they're tracked that way. I didn't see any numbers that really alarmed me through looking at them through the 3 months there. There wasn't anything that really stuck out that was unusual to me. And then the last page of the quarterly report, our printer is not, it's cutting off the corner of it, but it still shows every little spot. There's a square on the map is where we've taken an accident report. Couple down at Mount Vernon are usually kids backing into each other in the parking lot. And then most of them are right in town in Fortville. Took one out at 4 West and 67 for county one day. So, but that's where the majority of the accidents are right. They're usually between Merrill and Madison Street on Broadway is where we're seeing the majority of our accidents. There was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accidents out of the 18 that were not in that area. So that's pretty common. And then I wanted to update you guys on our hiring process and our backgrounds. I have, we took 11 to interviews with the officers because I like for the officers to have a chance to interview who their peers are going to be, to see if they'd be willing to work with them, to see if they like them, to see if they're going to get along with the group, and let them all kind of pick their brains to see how they're going to be. So out of those 11, 4 passed the interview phase, which wasn't a great number. And then on the backgrounds of those 4, we had 3 that passed. One gentleman was from Southern Indiana, worked at a sheriff's department and multiple police departments, and did not get good recommendations from any of his supervisors. So we're cutting him. One gentleman is from Illinois and looks like a really solid candidate. This one, no. One of these 3. One gentleman has a little more life experience. He's a little bit older. He's 34, I think, would fit in really well. He's one of Officer Freitas's workout friends. He's a big guy. Like, he makes Art look small, which is shocking. But I think he'd fit in really well. And then the other one, just a younger guy, 22, I think, really kind of just got out of college looking for his first real full-time job. So I think out of those 3, we'll be able to get 2 good candidates that I would be happy with. But we're going to schedule chief's interviews for the end of this month. So I would like someone on this board to sit in on the chief's interviews. It's usually me and Chief Hartman, and I've already cleared it with him. Just whenever is a good day for one of you or 2 of you to come in and do it. I'd be happy to have as many as,
Well, I'm retired, so I'm available.
And I am too.
Okay.
So I went the last one. Why don't you go?
No,
first?
you're.
2 people can, I don't have a number. The more the merrier.
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I wanted to talk to you all and see what date works best for you. It's usually in an afternoon or evening because most of them have a full-time job. So I don't like to make them take time off of their current job to come to an interview. I'd rather do it, in an evening at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. There's only going to be 3 of them. So we usually schedule about a half hour per candidate. So, if we start at 6, we'd be done by 8 by the time we're done talking to everybody and
That's if
talking
they
about
show.
them.
If they show,
I think those 3 will show.
really.
The one from Illinois has made every trip that needed to be made to come over here, and he's just right inside the Illinois border. So he's made every trip that needed to be made, and just, you know, I think we have 3 solid candidates, and I need to narrow it down to 2. So
Do you have a date in mind?
I was thinking the week of the 27th or the 20th. 20th, we have a council meeting, I believe. So it'd be the 21st, 22nd. I don't like to do it on the weekends or on a Friday. Or the 27th, 28th, 29th.
Say
The
22nd.
the 20th is the council meeting.
Yeah. So 21st, 22nd, 23rd is my birthday, so I really don't want to go do interviews for that. So, or 27th, 28th, 29th, whatever works best for you two, I can make it.
Later for me, later in the month, the better.
Okay, so
The
the,
27th, I kind of have a conflict there.
okay, does it,
29th, how about that? Will that work?
I can, that's all right.
let me double check the calendar, the meeting calendar for the town to ensure there's nothing else going on.
You'll send out an email reminder, right?
Oh, yeah. So we said the 29th.
Yeah.
The council chambers is open on the 29th. So there's a meeting on Tuesday and a meeting on Thursday that week, but so we'll do chief's interviews on April 29th.
Okay. And what time you,
If you guys could get here about 5:45, I'll have the questions like we do. Normally, there's a list of standard questions that we ask, and then I open it up to any follow-up questions you may have. And then if there's time left, we allow the candidate to ask questions of me or us if they have any.
okay, that'll work for me, 5.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do 5:45 PM. And that will give me time to get with Chief Hartman too, to make sure he's good for that. And if he can't do it, I'll call Mark Farr from Pendleton or somebody, Ed from Fishers. So,
Be fine for me.
all right. So that's all I have. If any of you want to look at the backgrounds that we have currently, the other 2 that aren't showing up to the interviews want to look at their backgrounds and their packets, I have them all. Or anybody wants to look at them, you're welcome to them. They're there. I feel good about these 3. I think all 3 of them would be good. I like the little bit more experienced guys just because, you know, they're a little bit older and they've got some life experience, you know what to expect. But that doesn't mean somebody who's 22 can't come in and be a rock star either. So,
Right.
So when you, how many officers you got now?
Full time.
Full time?
Now you got to make me pull off my shoes and count with my toes, Ed.
Okay.
18, 17. Let me think. I've got me, 2 lieutenants, 1, 2, 3 sergeants. That's 6. They each have 4. That's 8. That's 14. Plus I have 1 in training, 1 in the academy, 1 that just got released. So he's kind of on it. I got 18
Okay.
and 1 paid part-time.
So what would you call a full staff?
Full staff for me is adding 2 more. So 20 or 21 if you add the paid part-time.
Okay.
21 paid, well, 22 paid employees because I have an assistant for the police department.
So you're comfortable with 22 officers?
Right now, yeah.
Okay. You got.
I mean,
18?
if you drive south on Fortville Pike, you can see houses are going up every day.
Mhm.
So your target's 21 or 22?
Ultimately, yeah, I need, for next year, I'll be asking for more.
Well, you know, you're in a
but-
position where you get a full staff, you still want to
Thousands.
be looking in case somebody drops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we always have been in the past year and a half, 2 years, have been running a ongoing hiring process. And if we get full, I'll just tell them, hey, you're going to be on the list. So if somebody drops out, can't pass the academy, doesn't, they don't work out, they don't pass their probation period, we can cut them and have somebody else in line.
That'd be nice to have a list, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. We haven't had one in quite some time.
I know.
But I think we're at the point now where people are noticing that, hey, we got a good base salary for the officers. It's a good department. They get good equipment. They have the support of the community, the police commissioners, the council. They all see that, and they don't see that in some other areas. So,
Well, we had that one candidate that was upset,
yeah,
and he liked this better, so.
and we hired him,
Mhm.
and he's released, and he's good to go right now.
Yeah, he's making money now.
Yeah, he's making a little more. Although they're pushing to get a bigger raise in McCordsville too, but it's just different departments. That's all.
I want to ask you about this check security stuff.
Sure,
That is such a huge number.
it is
And why, is this residential again, or is it commercial?
both.
Who's the most?
Most of it's
'Cause I know we
commercial.
talked about this a long time ago, but
Yeah, most of it's commercial. They'll go up and down Main Street. They will go around the businesses, check the businesses. If somebody's like a resident on vacation, we'll fill out the form, because I know Eric did last month. The officers will go and they'll physically go check the residents, walk around the residents, drive by the residents, make sure nobody's supposed to be there. Most of it though is on the businesses. They'll get out and they'll drive through, and I want them to log those. So I know we have a timeline. If, say, I know Feeders changed their name, didn't they?
it's, I don't know.
It's something different.
It's okay.
Portville Feeders, we all know what that is.
Yeah.
If the officers go by there and they see a door open at 2 a.m., well, it could be one of the maintenance guys in there, or it could be somebody else. So they'll mark out on a check security and go check if there's an open door. And same on the Main Street businesses. If they see something open or lights on where
So
they,
this isn't people calling, this is just
No.
them randomly checking.
those are officers just out being proactive and
Okay.
patrolling,
Okay,
which I highly encourage. I want our officers to be proactive and not reactive.
that's good.
I want them to stop the crimes before they start. I know I've gotten calls. Just last week, I got a call. That morning they were upset, but an officer saw a garage door open with the light on. Well, normally those lights will turn off after a while until you trip a sensor. And they stopped and rang the doorbell at 4 o'clock in the morning. Probably wasn't, whatever. And they said, hey, your garage door's open, the lights are on. They're like, why are you bothering me? So then the person called me that next morning. They're like, hey, they're bothering me, this and that. And I'm like, well, the officers are through your neighborhood every night. They realize that this is not normal, that your garage door is open at 4 o'clock in the morning. So they wanted to let you be aware. And then that afternoon they called back and they're like, what we thought about, we really appreciate
Well,
it.
yeah, I hope so, gosh.
So
That's good.
so those are, and they mark out on those and just say, hey, I'm going to do a check security on this residence because I noticed that this light's on when it normally isn't, or this window and this business is open and it shouldn't be. And
Right.
It's
You know.
good that the officers are knowledgeable of
They pay attention
how
to
the
yeah.
residents live.
they do. And there's some you just don't see. I mean, the day shift guys don't know if somebody works nights, if the car ever moves. They just say, that car's always there.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, and then you talk to night shift guys like, oh yeah, that guy goes to work at 10 o'clock at night and then he comes back in the morning at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and he works down here at Amazon. I've stopped him before. I've seen him in his Amazon clothes, or
Yeah.
they try to be aware and attentive of what goes on in the town and the
We're
community.
small enough, they can still do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. And the bigger neighborhoods are going to be tougher and there are more people coming in, and we've got a lot of big neighborhoods coming in soon and a lot of big industrial and commercial and apartments and townhouses, and
A lot of changes coming.
some of that is going to go away, unfortunately, but with growth, hopefully we can stay up as the police department, and the officers are still expected to be in those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Even while they're being built, they're expected to be in those neighborhoods to deter commercial theft.
Mhm. That's good.
So, I'm a little worried about our gas prices. I'm glad to see the governor we don't pay tax anyway.
It just dropped below $100 a barrel this afternoon.
Yeah. So-
But it doesn't help the budget when the gas goes off the chart. That's for
No,
Yeah,
our,
but it's true, because we paid for that fuel
Yeah.
2 years ago.
sure. Right.
yeah. I budget our fuel at $4 a gallon on the average, per month of what each officer normally spends. Some are more active than others. Some of them take more trips to the jail down on 40 and some of them don't. But that's what my budget is. I'm gonna really have to start crunching numbers this year to see if it's gonna stay in that high 3 area, low 4 area. May have to adjust that, but we haven't had to adjust the fuel in the budget cycle over the past 4 years. So,
Hopefully it comes back down.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's
I think it will.
yeah, I hope so. So
Anybody,
that's kind of where we're at. That's really my only thought about our budget this year is the fuel and, it hurts everybody though. I mean, we don't pay tax on it, but it goes up. So,
I'm gonna ask you again, I know we talked about this, about the farmer's market thing.
uh-huh.
What about having one of our reserve officers down there?
We can ask reserve officers to work it. So they're mandated to work 2 12-hour shifts per month. I usually like to have them come out on a weekend when they're helping cover if somebody wants to take a day off.
Okay.
So they try to do that.
I just don't know. I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know. Just based off of what happened last year,
Yeah.
just stuff like that. And I will tell you, just by being in the meetings, tension is a little bit high.
Oh, really?
And I
What
just
happened last year?
just I just want to try to secure somebody to be there at some point, just
Right.
especially at first.
Yeah.
And they get settled in up there.
No,
and
I
things
can come in
smooth
if
out
I
a little
need to.
bit, Just and I like I said, it doesn't have to be the whole 3 hours. I think it's 3 hours. It's
Yeah.
or whatever, So it doesn't have to be the whole time, but
no, they were there on the golf cart when it first started out. I remember that quite well.
Yeah, that golf cart needs to go.
Well, then
just they're in a new
the
place.
attendance started dropping down a lot.
Well, we're fixing that.
No,
Yeah.
I see that. That's
Hopefully,
all.
hopefully this is going to be a
So last year there was some concerns that somebody in the market may have possibly been videotaping people and maybe not the best person that should have been at the farmer's market. So we went out and did some observation and kind of walked around, and I ended up buying some rhubarb that night because my wife loves rhubarb pie. And we just kind of, make sure that things are on the up and up and do all that.
Yeah.
since we have a board in place now, I think that'll be a little bit better. Those type of things shouldn't happen because
Yeah.
the vendors have to be pre-qualified and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they'll be a little bit more attentive. None of that was going
Well,
on. I think that's why.
Right. And they can use my case.
Yeah.
It's a public forum. Anybody can type in anything in my case and know if somebody's got a criminal history. So they can use that. And if,
Yeah.
if there's
They gave
something,
me the secretary on the board, so now I'll be in there saying the same thing about, just like you're saying.
Yeah.
Make sure you check the people so we don't have this problem again.
I agree.
How's your reaction to the golf carts and scooters running around? And I see them flying around all the time.
so
And I said, there's one that, I don't know whether he's just coming home from work or not, and it's dark.
Yeah.
He's flying down Pearl Street.
So the golf carts and the UTVs are fine. They're all properly registered. People do the right things, probably because they're a high dollar item. I put out a memorandum last week to all the officers on the e-bikes and the things like that. And there's so many different classifications in Indiana of those e-bikes. Like it has to be certain wattage for this and certain wattage for that. And it can only go this fast and that. I let the officers know that they need to start watching to make sure that people are operating them safely. If they're not operating them safely, then a call to a parent is warranted. A parent can come pick up the bicycle. And then if they get a second or third, usually they're going to say, hey, you guys need to start driving, follow the speed limit signs. But you got somebody on a pedal bike that they don't do that. I mean, people are pedaling around and they don't stop at stop signs, which doesn't set a good precedent. But I told them probably the first time, just talk to the kids, give them some information. The second time, call the parents. The third time, it comes back and sits in our garage, and the parents can come talk to me before they get the bike back. Instead of,
Yeah.
we don't have an ordinance on it yet. There's so many,
You can enforce it.
there's a lot of people that have them.
I mean,
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of
electric
different
scooters.
classifications of those bikes, though. I mean, it could be like,
it's convoluted. You can't move driving. I mean, like I told you, I
Yeah.
didn't know what I was looking at when I saw those little mini bikes.
Yeah.
They're dirt bikes,
Mhm.
but, and I feel like they should have a plate on them. And those kids were probably 13 riding it down 67.
yeah, Courtville got in pursuit with 6 of them.
Yeah. I mean,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's, and you know, it would be hard, I think, to.
Well, I see a lot there at the intersection there.
Mhm.
And some of them, they're like a scooter, only they're powered,
Mhm.
and they
Those are
just,
the razors, yeah, they're.
yeah, they
they're
just,
fast.
they just
Yeah.
go through there, and some of them don't even look.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
So I think we're really going to push the education for the officers, for the kids to be out. If you see them out, even
Maybe
if you
you
just
should
see
do
them out,
Maybe you should do something at the school. Do something out there before the year ends, maybe. I can have the school put out flyers or something, things Just
like
something to
that.
Say that, you know, these are the rules and these are the, you know, this is what's gonna happen if you don't.
Maybe the department could.
Well,
put out a
especially
brochure.
Summer's approaching now.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how many of these new home additions have HOAs.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Well,
All
in
of
that case, then the HOA manager ought to be able to do a broadcast it to that community and just warn parents, because
Yeah.
summer's coming. And the
Well-
ambulance service is gonna get extremely busy if these kids aren't paying attention to what's going on.
Oh, yeah. We see it all the time. They'll just run through a stop sign and a big stop, like Michigan and Maine. They'll just go flying through there. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you need to.
If they see a consequence though, and maybe the parents know there is one, they might be a little bit more diligent about telling their kids, hey,
Right.
when you're in town, you better watch where you're going. You better
Yeah.
stop. You better do what you're supposed to do. You get that taken away, then I'm gonna take it away. I mean, I could see these parents
Oh, yeah.
doing that, but I think it has to be a collective effort, I think, to make it.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta educate them.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know better. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of it's not a defense. but
And like I told Patrick, I see one kid, I was so proud of him. I wish I could have ran him down and told him how proud I was that he was stopping at every intersection.
Yep.
He stopped, he looked, he was very conscious of everything going on around him.
Well, one of the things the fire service is doing now that's going into the summer months or getting ready to, is the firefighters are actually on the web and everything, and they're telling these kids on scooters and bikes, elbow pads, helmet, knee pads. We don't want to pick you up. and
Yeah.
Put you in the back of this ambulance.
Yeah,
And it's a public broadcasting
Oh,
now
yeah.
for most of these fire services and IFD. I met with them yesterday and they're starting to do it again too. So, he said, yeah, because it's just these neighborhoods, like I said,
Yeah.
every neighborhood across the land is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Just like
The department can put something together, and for the officers, when they stop a kid, when they give it to them.
That's
And maybe even make him sign
Right.
it, so he thinks, oh, they have a record of me doing this, even though they're not, but.
something to
they-
make
they
him
sign
accountable,
for it.
that's the problem.
yeah.
You don't
Well,
ever make him accountable. they just-
Sometimes you won't even have the
You
parents.
gotta hold
be
the parents
Right.
accountable.
I know. It's hard to make the kid when the parents.
And I know I'm going to be the big bad bully when it comes to me start taking these bikes and put them in the garage, and the parents got to come sign for them and get them back out. But I got to do something. I don't want to scrape your kid up off the front of a
No.
vehicle
No,
or from underneath a truck.
and there's not a
and-
parent out there that should complain about that.
Well,
It's their own fault.
it's because I have taken their property.
Yeah, I
or
know. but
something like
still,
that.
that's-
But
You're saving their kid's life, probably.
And
Yeah.
it's not gonna get better.
no, it's not. The more neighborhoods, the more trails, the more stuff we get,
And
the
these
more we're gonna see.
manufacturers are making them so they're faster and.
Oh yeah.
Fast, boy, you couldn't chase one if.
Well, that one boy goes down through there. I don't know what, I see him and it's
One-
dark and
yeah.
I just see,
Oh, they zoom,
Yeah.
they are fast, boy.
Yep. So
Anybody-
yeah, I might I'll reach out to the school and see if maybe they could put something, like hang something on the walls in the middle school, the elementary school.
They might have access to educational pamphlets anyway from
Yeah.
bicycle center or someplace like that. They could probably print them off or get them. Most of the time they'll either donate them
Oh, yeah.
We just don't want to see anybody get
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah, that's,
If you give them to
we've
the
already had
officer,
one
the
hit,
officer
so-
stops them.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have?
Now they're like,
Main Street.
and here, sign this to
Hand
make
it to
sure you
them.
got it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
well, oh, no, it's serious. And they're gonna tell their friends.
So you did have one accident with us.
we have had one, yes. Last year, so.
Yeah.
And this isn't a Fortville issue. This is a national issue. My niece has one for college in California, and she rides it responsibly. She rides it around campus because she's on a big campus.
You hope.
Yeah, I hope. But, and it's every community, every chief you talk to, it's unless you're in a very, very rural district, then you don't see them as much. But any place that has neighborhoods, you're starting to see them. So I think some education, we're gonna start educating, and I might see if the school could get some pamphlets or something
There you go.
out and hang up in there, and then make sure the officers, even if they just see a kid that's doing the right thing, just go hand them a pamphlet and then blast out there like, hey, first time's going to be a verbal warning. Second time, you're going to have to call a parent, or parent's going to have to come pick up the e-bike. And the third time you committed an offense, it's coming to the PD and you got to go talk to the chief.
And then you get in their pocket.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to, I don't want to write tickets to kids that are out trying to have fun. But I also know there has to be some sort of consequence. So
They have to learn consequence. They have to learn responsibility at some point.
And it shouldn't get
to save their life eventually.
Right.
Does anybody have any,
Or save somebody else's life if they hit
any
somebody.
questions in reference to the chief's, updated hiring process, background complete
I have no-
for or anything on his report that we currently went over?
I have none.
I have none.
I do need, Gene, you to sign this copy of the meeting minutes.
Okay.
Nick is not here, but I will get it to him this week for him to sign so I can have the signed copy of the meeting minutes.
Ed, you got any questions or comments?
No, I can't think of anything right now.
Tanya?
I've said all I have to say.
I have a couple. One, we're getting, I don't know, you guys, as far as the budget board goes, we have to keep in mind that we gotta get ready and prepare ourselves for the 2026 Chiefs merit matrix, so we can get that submitted to the budget board before the budget is together. So they can have that all incorporated together.
Yeah, we
I
start.
don't know
doing-
exactly what those dates are, but I want the chief to be
About-
prepared for
Yeah.
his,
About June,
June.
we start.
preview with
we
the rest of
start
us.
With Beth. We sit down with her and kind of give her this is our must have and this is our wish list. And, this is what, if we can do, we'd like to do. If we can't do it, great. We'll make concessions here or there. And then she comes back with kind of I guess it's a temporary budget. And says, hey, we need to make cuts here or there and change this or change that. And then it goes back to her again after we have all determined what we want, what we need. I did request from Missy last year that we have different department head meetings with Beth, because sometimes if I say, oh, hey, I'd like to get a, speed something, a speed trailer or something, then I'm told, well, that's a street department or this or that, or, and I think it's a competitive thing because everybody's fighting for the same piece of pie. But I also think that some department heads don't feel like they have a voice in that process because they have to answer to other people. So I requested for me to sit down with Beth and Missy separately with you guys to go over budget stuff. So
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody's prepared to have the review with you. So that review can be in their hands prior to their budget meeting process.
Yeah.
So that's something we need to keep on our radar. Another thing I want to address real quick, and Chief and Tanya, with your involvement with the fire service as well. We're seeing a lot of activity with medication, expired medication, and kids getting their hands on it, especially during spring break. I don't know how the town of Fortville does and handles expired drugs for the citizens instead of them dumping down their toilet and flushing them down their drain. Is there any program that the town of Fortville has through the fire service and or the police service to where they can have a turn in Saturday or something along those lines?
I have a box in the garage that I had just painted up. It's going to be mounted in the wall. It is from NASA, Neighborhoods Against Substance Abuse. They paid for the box. I've been asking to get that put in the wall for a minute now, but I think everybody's scared to punch
That's
through a new
exactly
wall.
where I was gonna go with
So
some
it's going
kind
to be
of,
a drop box open
Yeah.
to the public, Monday through Friday. We had thought about doing it out there. The problem is, people drop their utility bills and
Might cause some confusion.
it might cause some confusion. And in there, so the sheriff's department handles that program and they dispose of all the old drugs. But that's going to be on this wall right out here. There's going to be a sign out front that says, prescription drug drop off by NASA. That's going to be posted over there. It is sealed. The only people that can get into it would be me and the 2 sheriff's deputies running that program. And it will be a drop box through the wall where they can't reach their hand down in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's completely, it's just a big wall safe
Yeah.
is what it is
well, that's,
with a drop area. So that, and NASA is going to pay to advertise for all that, put it out in the papers, let people know the locations and do all that. So yes, that is,
That's excellent.
that project has been going for a while. I
don't
don't
know
want
if
to
we-
drill a hole through the wall because it's a new wall and I don't want to mess something up, but I don't think Brian does. And
Nobody
No, I
wants
think
to-
Joe said he would, but Joe's busy, so
well, I think
I
the
don't
town
want to hit a water
manager,
line or a power line or,
Yeah.
because we're gonna have to cut a slot in the wall like this.
Yeah.
And then you feed it in from the back and the walls are thick and it's all metal framed. It's not wood framed.
Right.
So then we have to put a metal plate on the front and screw that in so it's secure to the front so nobody can push through and get in the police department. So, but that project has been in place for a while. It's kind of been one of those, we're at a stalled
know.
moment right now that it's a prescription drug drop off program.
Yeah, when asked, what's that?
Neighborhoods Against Substance Abuse.
Okay.
I don't know, how proactive we could be to make it happen within the next 30 to 90 days would be ideal. Prior to the kids getting out for summer recess,
Yep.
in my opinion. And I think, like you said, I tell you what, by sharing the information that you have for runs the community or the police department's been doing, I've talked to a lot of people in this town and a lot of people like that. Some people are saying, why are they doing it?
Yeah.
I said, why are they doing
I
it?
get
I'll tell
the
you why they do it.
messages on Facebook that says, what are you guys football players? Are you keeping
Yeah.
stats now? And I'm like, no, I like to keep the public informed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing this, the chief is doing this to make you aware how busy there are and what's going on in your town.
Yeah.
And, now if you look around outside of Fortville, a lot of other departments are doing it now
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And,
Was it?
but I think the communication transparency thing, I'm a big fan of that. And I think everybody sitting up here is too.
Yeah.
And I think it's gaining a lot of citizens' respect. They just got to understand what it is they're looking at.
Yeah.
Well, for instance, I forget where I seen it, but there's a picture at one of the ball games of a Fortville officer with his insignia.
Oh, yeah. The national championship game.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Now, a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, he's our uniform. He's our car, but they get reimbursed. Excuse me, from the people that hire them.
Oh, yeah. They get directly paid by Cambridge.
They cover their liability too, don't they?
Yep.
See,
They do
so
all that.
a lot of the citizens out here don't know that.
Oh, yeah. They do that. They work the Colts games, the WNBA.
Yeah.
The NCAA Final Four. I know several guys work that.
Yeah, it's extra money for them and they wear
is.
their uniform. It says Fortville.
It's extra money for them. It's a benefit. They have to be released to solo patrol to be able to do that because I'm not going to put somebody in training out there in that environment. They have to have a work agreement, an off-duty work agreement. which we have one with Cambridge Fieldhouse to cover, and Lucas Oil to cover the Colts, any big events, concerts, anything. I don't allow them to work in Marion County at bars. I don't allow them to work at banks, Kroger's. I don't want any of that. You want to go work a major sporting event? I'm all for it because they need a lot of help and they hire people in from all over the state because the state police can't cover all that.
Yeah, you gotta kind of draw the line on it.
Yeah. So outside of Marion County, they're allowed to work a lot of different details if they want.
Sure.
But I just don't want them in Marion County for some reasons.
Well, I don't think the board has any concerns about what they're doing as far
Oh,
as
no,
helping other
but-
police services and the community.
Yeah, people just don't know
Surrounding
that they
areas.
get paid off-duty employment.
Yeah, they,
It's no different when they go down to Mount Vernon and work. I have
Right.
3 officers scheduled there every day full-time that are paid for, well, 2 are paid for the Fortville Police Department and one's paid for by the school. But in that memorandum of understanding we have with the school pays 2/3 of their salary, benefits, vehicles, equipment, training, and the town pays 1/3. Well, that's a win-win. We get officers at the school and we don't have to pay, 1/3 of their salary and benefits. Now, the other ones down there are working off-duty employment on their days off, and the school's paying them to come in and do traffic, or paying them to come be an extra SRO for the day. So there's all kinds of off-duty stuff these guys do. They just,
Awesome. The only other comment I got real quick for you is, as far as the summer event,
mhm.
I think Cammy's Cause is here, right?
Yep,
So, and then we got officers for that.
yep.
And then,
Blazer 88.
yes,
We do that motorcycle ride also. Summerfest is going to be shortened this year. It's going to be just a late afternoon, early evening event, not an all day event, because the park's going to be going under construction and it's just a lot more stuff. So, but yeah, the summer events were all prepped up, ready to go. I've already talked to Jared Heiner and Aaliyah and Ryan about Cammy's Cause. I've already talked to Josh about Blazer 88, working through the Cammy's Cause ride's easy. It's the same route every time. Stop at the park, get ice cream, go out to the family farm, eat lunch, come back. Blazer 88's different. They like to go at different spots. So we do that and ensure everybody's safe. So
well, I was just thinking of summer events because of 4th of July, Cammy's Cause, Blazer 88. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm sure he's got the staff signed up, whoever wants to volunteer, not volunteer, but be on duty or whatever.
they're all,
Volunteer would be great.
they're all required. Winterfest, Summer Fest, they're all required to pull a shift. So they're blackout days for the vacations. Unless something exigent comes up, they're not allowed to take vacation. A family member dies, something like that, then obviously we'll allow that. But those are blackout dates. They just can't take it, and they know it. Those are the 2 dates out of the year, Summerfest, Winterfest, that I have to have all hands on deck, and that's that.
Sure. Awesome. That's all I have. Eric, you got anything?
No, sir, nothing.
All right. Well, if that, let's pick a date for our June, July, August meeting, wouldn't it be?
Get it? It's
3 months?
We have it already on the books, don't we?
I
It's
think
there.
so.
about 3 months, yeah.
August. Well, I haven't got.
Yeah, we probably, August would be past the budget stuff. So, let's plan our normal, meeting for August, whenever we have that scheduled, which I think is, do we have it in August? July. July.
Like. Let's see,
July 8th is what we already have pre-planned.
July 29th?
I thought it was the 8th.
I don't have anything.
Well, on the town calendar, we have it on July 8th.
Okay. Well, let's put it on July 8th.
So we had it on January 7th, April 8th, July
No,
8th,
we had the,
October 7th. That's where we're currently, what we pre-planned at the beginning of the year were those dates.
You said October 7th.
Yeah, July 8th and October 7th
Okay.
were the pre-planned police commission meetings, the first Wednesday of
Yeah.
the month. Well, besides July 1st
This is April.
and April 1st,
So
I guess. Maybe
So-
it's the second Wednesday month. I don't know. It's all in that range.
So,
But we would probably I'll need to get with Beth and Missy and see when they want to start that process with budget stuff, whether it's early June, mid-June, and then I will probably have to advertise either a meeting or advertise an executive session to go over that.
so let me make sure, July 8th, we're having our normal meeting.
Correct.
What is the October 7th about?
That is our last meeting of the year.
Well, that's not, October,
July and then October.
okay.
Those are the four that we had pre-planned at the beginning of the year.
Okay,
was-
October
Yeah, 4,
7th.
but with this year, we've already.
This year, yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
exceed those numbers because we've had some executive sessions and then we had some other ones. I'll have to call one once we get through our April chiefs process. Once I make my decision and we all talk about the candidates, I'll have to request
An executive meeting.
just not an executive, just a quick public meeting for you guys to
Yeah.
approve the new hires.
Okay.
So,
What date we go with?
Well, I think let's find out when when we want to get together and just let us know.
yeah,
Just email us and we'll all collectively pick a day. I'm always good the first half of the month. It's the second half that's tough for me.
okay,
Anything after the first 2 weeks I can just about get it in.
Yeah.
Except for our one council meeting, but after that, it's really hard. I've got so many things going on.
yeah. Once I get with Beth and Missy to see when they're wanting to sit down and do all that, we'll sit down and go and figure out when they want to get that done and go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, on the calendar, we got July 7th and October 8th.
Yeah.
I had July 8th.
Or maybe it's July 8th and October 7th. I don't know, I just
July
looked at the
8th and
calendar.
October 7th.
That's what's on that calendar.
Yeah.
You're right, Gene.
So. I mean,
Yeah, just leave them on there and then.
we could keep it there. I don't have a problem with that.
No, but we'll need to have probably
A June meeting of some kind, probably.
we'll probably need a real quick one in May to approve hires. And then we'll need one in June whenever Beth and Missy are free that we can talk about budget stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, we work those into the new hiring process and so forth for the public meetings then we don't really need to do the July meeting.
I wouldn't.
Not
think
unless
that
we have
was-
something emergency or something special that comes up.
Yeah, I mean, we can always cancel that one later and just say, hey, there's nothing new. We've canceled that meeting. But we'll just leave it on the books now and that way we have a set.
July 8th and October 7th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
And we'll need to have some before then, but
Yeah, I realize.
those will be,
They'll be
Like-
announced at
yep.
Like to have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:19. Thank you, everybody.
I will get this,
Sure.
Shit.